Welcome back. The time is 18 minutes past 9, and this hour of news and views is proudly brought to you by Africa Muslims Agency. Africa Muslims Agency, a beacon of hope to communities in Africa and beyond. And we are now going to be diving into some tech. We'll be diving into a very, very fascinating development in the world of AI with a company that's making waves in the tech space. It's called DeepSeek, and it's a relatively new player, and it has caught the attention of experts worldwide for achieving incredible feats in artificial intelligence. And this is despite working with less advanced hardware and a smaller budget compared to, the bigger industry giants like ChatGPT and Google's Gemini. And to help us unpack what's happening here and what, this DeepSeek is all about. We're joined by Bilal Kathrada. He's the founder and CEO of IT Varsity. Bilal, assalamu alaikum. Jazakallah so much. Welcome to Salam Media. Really appreciate you giving us your time.
Wa alaikum salam, and I really appreciate being here. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Pleasure's all ours. I think first and foremost, what is DeepSeek? Can you maybe just explain, what it's all about? What makes it so revolutionary in the world of artificial intelligence, and why this company has created such a buzz in the world of tech right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So, in the simplest way I can explain what DeepSeek is, it's almost a clone of ChatGPT in terms of its functionality. I mean, unless you haven't been paying attention to the tech world over the past year, 2 years, and you don't know what ChatGPT is, the best way to describe it is that it's very similar to ChatGPT in a sense that it's a large language model. It's a conversational AI that you can ask it questions and it gives you very detailed, accurate, human-like answers. Now, what makes it so amazing is that DeepSeek is not just making waves, as you'd say. It actually created a tidal wave that wiped out the likes of OpenAI, Google's Gemini, and Meta, for the simple reason that whereas these companies were spending insane amounts of money, I'm talking about $1 billion to 100 billion, and recently Trump announced 500 billion rands in investment for ChatGPT, for OpenAI, the company that owns ChatGPT. These guys came out of the blue, and in 2 months, they built an AI that is just as powerful as ChatGPT, but a lot more efficient for $5 million. How do you compare $5 million to $500 billion? There's no even a comparison. So America's entire tech industry is in a spin that how could the Chinese do this and at such a small cost and in such a low development time? Now, that's what's got them all in a spin. And they are now very intently studying DeepSeek's code to just try and figure out how did these guys beat us, and not just beat us. It's also they broke the monopoly that the USA had on AI. Now, what the Chinese have done is that they've made AI available to even the smallest country in the world, even to small businesses and universities, so that American monopoly is forever broken.
A lot of tech geeks, if I can put it that way, have mentioned the fact that DeepSeek's rise is almost as significant in the AI world as Sputnik was. I think for those that don't know, Sputnik was a satellite that was launched by the Soviet Union during the late 1950s. Is it that revolutionary? Can we, put it on, that level? And do you agree with that assessment? Is DeepSeek marking a significant shift in the global AI race between the East and the West, if I can put it that way?
Yeah, in some ways it is accurate. In some ways it's not. Now, how is it accurate? In a sense that the US as a company, as a country, sees everything as some kind of race, some kind of war between itself and everyone else. This war for domination, this Cold War, this trade wars, tariff wars. But the rest of the world is saying, hey, look, listen, We don't have to go to war. Let's just do business together. I'm buying from you, you buying from me. Let's do mutual business. So, in a sense, the Americans, it's natural for them to see this as similar to the Sputnik, because the Sputnik was at the height of the Cold War between the USSR and America. And that was a point where the USSR launched the first satellite into space and left the Americans sitting. And the Americans said, whoa, what happened here? Did the
Mm.
Russians just launch a satellite into space? So the Russians were first to go, and the Americans had to play catch up. They launched NASA, and they had to play catch up. And this is where the analogy is very different. It's different here because the Americans in this case were the pioneers. They were the
Mm.
pioneers of AI. They did establish open AI and ChatGPT and Gemini and so many others. But the Chinese came along and wiped them out by showing them that we can do this much more cheaply, much more efficiently. And here's the best part, we made it open source, meaning
Mm.
that its code base is now available to you and I and to the whole world, whereas open AI wasn't open at all. It was closed. They didn't make
Bit
anything available.
ironic, eh? um I want to touch a bit on the implications for South Africa. I think a lot of South Africans listening to this, their first question is, what does this mean for me? What does this mean for our country? And we all know the geopolitical factors that I play here, especially regarding South Africa's allegiance, whether it's with the US and the rest of Western Europe, or we BRICS, China, maybe our closest friends. Ultimately, in this drama of geopoliticals and technological advancements, where is South Africa, and what does this moment mean for us?
I think this is a very, very significant moment for the global south because for once and very decisively, the global south has proven to the West that whatever you can do, we can do better. Not just
Mm,
better, but cheaper also. And not just cheaper, but at a fraction of the price and the computational resources. I mean, if you look at the computers that run OpenAI, these are multi-billion dollar supercomputers that have chipsets that are custom built for them. And that's a funny story because those chips were banned for China. The US government banned the company NVIDIA from selling those H100 chips to China. So the Chinese said, okay, if you can't sell us that, sell us the lower grade chips, the third grade chips. So they said, okay, you can have our third grade stuff. And the Chinese built this DeepSeek with the third grade chips, not even the top
mm.
of the range chips. So they said, well, cheaper, lighter, using third grade materials, bubble gum and what you call duct tape, whatever we took, and we made this better than you. Now let's come to South Africa. I love this question because what it means is that now on a computer that's a little more powerful than your home computer, you can run your own offline AI model and train it with your own data. So, what are
Mm.
the implications? Let's take IT Varsity, my business, for example. We are in the education business. We are already creating a DeepSeek server, which will serve our students, will be trained by us on our data. So we don't have to use ChatGPT's very, very expensive API. So our students will have access to our own internal DeepSeek. We're calling it Caitlin, and it
Mm.
will use that information that we give it. So it's not bringing outside information. Now, what's the bigger implications? Okay, for academia, for religious purposes, for business, there's massive implications. Let's take religious. So you
Mm.
can get all our muftis coming together and saying, let's rebuild our own AI server and feed it our data only, data from our books, from our Islamic books, not from the whole world, just this, and it'll give us quick answers. Let's take business. Now an opportunity is opened up for South African entrepreneurs, tech entrepreneurs, to come up with solutions to Africa's problems using homegrown AI, homegrown and home
Mm.
trained AI. There's opportunity for academia, for South African researchers to improve on the DeepSeek model because it's open source, meaning you can download the code base of DeepSeek, you can look at it, you can make changes, you can improve it, and share your changes with the whole world. This is essentially what the Chinese did. The Americans, they blocked it all off. None of this was available to anyone but them and their partners, their partner countries. So, now we've got opportunities to do so much with AI.
No, definitely. And this only proves that, we're no longer, saying we're approaching the fourth industrial revolution. It's here. We're part of it. And, it's up to us to adapt. And, it's organizations like yours, IT Varsity, that I think will be spearheading the next generation. But yeah, really, really appreciate you joining us, Bilal. Really insightful conversations. And looking forward to chatting to you again.
Looking forward to it. I think we need more time to discuss such a momentous innovation.
Definitely. That was Bilal Kathrada, founder of IT Varsity. Insight on a DeepSeek, the Chinese AI startup, which is seemingly disrupting the global tech landscape. And yeah, you can, head over to DeepSeek, search on your Google. It almost resembles what ChatGPT looks like. But yeah, man, the Chinese doing it again. Hey, less budget, less resources, but saying, hey, look, we're going to club the US. We're going to show them that you don't need millions of dollars. You don't need, years and years of research. We can do this with limited resources, limited time, and the product is much better than theirs. Eh? Fourth Industrial Revolution, starting to mirror, the Cold War and the advancement, the tech advancement, particularly into space that were made during that time. So it's going to be a really, really interesting couple of years, especially with the turn of, the century. Yeah, one can only imagine what the world is going to look like in the next few years. But yeah, we'll be right here giving you all the latest, making sure that you're up to date and you know what you need to know and when you need to know it. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, news and views continues after this short break.